Everyone loves to say Colorado is full, no room left. Don't bother moving here. I actually have two sellers right now who would like to disagree. One is moving to Florida and the other one is moving to Arizona. And it turns out they're part of a much bigger trend than anyone online wants to admit. Colorado just ranked as the 5th highest outbound state in the entire country. The first time that's happened since 1990. So the next time someone tells you there's no room left in Colorado, you can tell them the moving trucks say otherwise. So today I want to talk about something almost nobody asks. If Colorado is supposedly full, why did it just rank as the 5th highest state people are actually moving out of? Where do all these people go? And why are they leaving a place everyone assumes nobody ever leaves? Hi, I'm Ewelina. I moved from Poland to Colorado 25 years ago. And all these years later, I'm still here. So if I was able to figure this place out, I can help you figure out too. Together with my husband Simon, who's also the one holding the camera right now, we help buyers and sellers all across the Denver metro area. I'm not Colorado influencer who moved here last year, and I'm not the typical born and raised local either. I'm someone who came here, built a life, and learned Colorado from the inside out. And because I work with people on both sides, the ones arriving and the ones leaving, I get a view of Colorado most people never see. If that kind of honest, both sides perspective is worth having in your corner, hit subscribe. I post new videos on Colorado living every week. Today, I want to break down where people actually go when they leave, why they leave, and what that tells you if you're the one thinking about moving here instead. Let's start with a myth, because it's a big one. Colorado is full. You hear it everywhere. In comments, in group chats, from people who moved here in 2016 and now act like the gate should close behind them. But here is the truth. And now there's a number behind it too. Colorado gains people every year and it loses people every year. And last year in 2025, it lost more than usual. So it's not a room that only fills up. It's more like a door swinging both directions. And right now that door is swinging out a little harder than it has in decades. My two sellers moving to Florida and Arizona right now are proof of that. So who is actually leaving and where do they go? Here's something that might surprise you. It's usually not a young family getting priced out and forced to leave Colorado. The national data actually backs this up. 6 in 10 of the households who move away are 55 or older, and more than half of them have a household income above $150,000. These are not people who got pushed out because they couldn't afford it anymore. These are people who are doing just fine, who looked at their options and decided the next chapter looks better somewhere else. The biggest group I see leaving personally is empty nesters. Their kids grew up, moved out, and started their own lives in other states. And the whole reason they stayed here for 20 years, the school district, the soccer schedule, the neighborhood, isn't there anymore. Being closer to family is now the #1 reason people move at all, ahead of jobs or ahead of retirement. So now the kids or grandkids are somewhere else, the house has 3 empty bedrooms, and staying somewhere far from the people they actually want to see just stops making sense. Right behind them are people close to retirement. And this is where numbers get interesting. They look at what their home is worth, now compared to what they paid for it, and the math changes everything. A lot of people who bought here 10 or 15 years ago are sitting on a huge amount of equity. When you can take that money and buy a home somewhere else for cash, no mortgage, no monthly payment, that's not just a move, that's a completely different financial life. That's actually the exact situation with one of my two sellers right now. They're not moving because they don't like Colorado. They're leaving because the equity in their home can buy them an almost paid-off house in Florida and take one more monthly huge bill off their plate for the rest of their life. Not everyone moving away fits into those first two groups though. Some people are just leaving purely for a job, nothing personal about Colorado at all. Sometimes it's a company transfer, sometimes it's simply a better offer that happened to show up somewhere else. So where does everyone actually go? I did some research, so let me just give you the list, because a couple of these might surprise you. We got Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, Virginia, and Kansas are the top 5 states people leave Colorado for right now. Arizona is an easy one for me to picture because it's exactly where one of my two sellers is headed. And honestly, the real reason isn't even the weather, it's the grandkids. They're retiring and they want to be close to the family. Texas shows up constantly too, mostly because there is no state income tax and your money simply buys you more house. North Carolina is the one that actually surprised me. I think it's mostly a job story. Charlotte is a major banking hub, and Raleigh and Durham, what people call the Research Triangle, have turned into a real tech and biotech center. Add mountains, beaches, and a cost of living that's still below the national average, and you can see why someone living in Colorado would take that offer without thinking twice. Virginia is almost entirely about the paycheck. Northern Virginia sits right next to Washington, D.C., and it's packed with government, defense, and tech jobs. Amazon's second headquarters is there too. Virginia's cost of living is a bit higher than the national average, but I guess the salary actually justifies it. In Kansas, it's just affordable. Housing runs well below the national average, and Kansas City has a growing job market in healthcare, logistics, and aviation. It tends to pull people who grew up in the Midwest or who are just tired of stretching every dollar against Colorado prices. Florida actually didn't make this year's official top 5, and that caught me off guard, since it still comes up constantly with my retiree clients, like the other seller I mentioned. No state income tax, no tax on retirement income, and winters that don't involve scraping ice off a windshield at 6 in the morning. So Florida is still very real. It just isn't the loudest answer in the data anymore. So that's the national picture. 5 states pulling people away for different reasons. But zoom into Colorado itself and the story gets even more specific. Here's a detail that made me do a double take. Pueblo, right here in our own state, south of Colorado Springs, lost roughly 3 people for everyone it gained last year. One of the highest outbound rates of any city in the entire country. Meanwhile, Fort Collins is quietly doing the opposite, still gaining residents, while Denver and Colorado Springs sit closer to 57% outbound. So Colorado isn't one story, it's several different towns, each having a completely different year. Okay, if you're still not sure Colorado is actually right for you, good news. I already did the boring homework for you. I put together a free Colorado relocation guide, real costs, real expectations, the stuff people usually find out the hard way after they already made the move. It's in the description, so go grab it. Let's go back to something I mentioned at the beginning, that idea that Colorado is full. It's not. For every person who moves in, someone else is moving out for their own reasons. And here's the part I really want you to hear. It's usually not about money. Most people leaving are doing it because of family, because they want to be near their grandkids, or because retirement finally makes sense somewhere else. Cost of living is part of the story for some. About 5% say that's their main reason, but it's not the biggest piece. So if part of you is worried about being one more person tipping the scale and overcrowding Colorado, relax. You're one person moving into a state where plenty of people are also moving out right now. And here's my favorite part of all of this. Some of the people who leave Colorado end up coming back. I've had more than one client sell their Colorado home, move somewhere warmer, live there a couple of years, and then call me because they wanted to come home. Not because anything went terribly wrong. Well, Florida turned out to be too hot and more humid than they remember from vacation. Arizona was beautiful until summer hit 110 degrees and stayed there for what felt like months. And Colorado, meanwhile, didn't have to do anything at all. It just stayed exactly the same. The same mountains, the same quiet mornings, and that turned out to be exactly what they've been missing. I'm not saying that to talk anyone out of Florida or Arizona. My 2 sellers who are heading there right now are making a completely reasonable decision for their stage of life. Warmer winters, no state income tax, being closer to family. And I'm sure my sellers will be happy there. But sometimes people have to leave to find out how much they actually love being in Colorado. So as you can see, people leave Colorado for real, practical reasons, and none of that is a red flag over the state. It just means Colorado is not everyone's forever place, and that's okay. And if you're the one thinking about moving here, that's exactly the kind of decision I help people work through every day. What areas fit your budget, what to expect, and if you're actually the one thinking about leaving Colorado, I can help with that too. After everything you just heard, it's probably obvious by now I've become just as much of an expert in helping people leave Colorado as I am in helping them move here. No pressure, no sales pitch, just an honest conversation with someone who lives and works here. Easiest way is to book a free call with me, and link is in the description. If this was helpful, please click like. It helps more people find this before making a big decision. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I post new videos every week with the honest, local, no sugarcoating version of Colorado living. Have a great day and I will see you next week. Żebyś trzymał to niżej, o tak właśnie. As the fifth highest, wiesz co, nie podała mi się speed, nie ciężko mi się, almost no one, zaraz wejdziesz, just stops making sense. Czekaj, keep going. And take one more monthly bill, and I think it's, możesz trzymać prosto? Okay, there we go. And you can see why someone jeszcze raz. Since I still, okay, that don't, okay, one more time. Jeszcze, no. Mylę się trochę. Let's go back to something I mentioned at the beginning, that idea that, okay, one more time.